guys, and welcome to my channel. This is actually going to be my very first beauty tutorial video. It's not really a tutorial, it's more of like a try on impressions. It's going to be a full face of Wet n Wild products except for two products. There's two that I didn't have anything of that brand. So it's just going to be all Wet n Wild products except for two products, which is going to be the primer and the eyebrow, which those are going to be e.l.f. products, so still affordable. Okay, and I'll go ahead and get started. Side note, it's actually a snow day here in Kentucky. I live in Kentucky, and we don't get a whole lot of snow, but when we do, you know, everything's called off. So I actually got out of work today because it snowed, so I just want to spin this around and show you. We don't get a lot of snow here. Okay, so I'm starting off with a clean face. I just washed my face. I don't have anything on it right now. So first thing I'm going to do is a quick moisturizer real quick. And this actually isn't a Wet n Wild or e.l.f. product, but it's actually a First Aid Beauty. And it's, if you can see that, it's just the Ultra Repair Cream. And I have kind of drier skin, so I tend to like to use really good like moisturizer type things. Okay, so next what I'm going to be using is just the e.l.f. hydrating primer. Squirt a little bit of that on there. I'm just going to put that all over my face, especially in my T-zone. Definitely need that. Now this, I've never tried this before, but this is the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Foundation. So I just got this. Just gonna kind of dab it all over my face. It's kind of weird. It's got this little stick thing. Never seen anything like that before. Okay, so hopefully that'll work. And I'm using this in the shade, let's see if I can find a shade on here, Porcelain. I always have to get the whitest color out of any foundation because I am super white and I just really can't even tan. So I'm just dabbing all this in. It's looking a little weird. I've never tried this before, so we'll see. And with this little sponge I'm using, I'm not really quite sure where I got it. I just get little generic ones, but you can use these wet or dry. I tend to prefer to do them wet, but right now I'm doing it dry. Get my mirror. This doesn't look too bad. Takes a little bit to blend out, but not terrible. Okay, so next I'm going to be going in with the Photo Focus concealer from Wet n Wild. Also, this one is in the shade Light Ivory. It's pretty much the lightest shade they had as well. Just putting this right underneath the eyes, kind of bringing it out down into this bottom. I get a lot of red area under there, and then right under my nose I tend to get some red area as well, and then right onto the nose. Can't really see this with the, and then kind of around my lips. Now we're going to be taking the more pointy side and just kind of blending that all in as well, and I like to try to kind of blend it over my eyes as well. Tends to help a little bit. Gets all those little creases and everything. My dog in the background. Okay, so we've got that blended in. Let's see. Looks pretty good. So I'm going to be setting my concealer now with the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Pressed Powder. And this is in the shade Warm Light. I'm sure this is the lightest color as well. So I'm just going to dab this in here, tap off, and just kind of press this underneath my eyes here. And pretty much anywhere else. Drag the rest of that powder everywhere else as well with the excess. That powder is pretty nice. I actually feel like it sets everything pretty well. Okay, so next I'm going to go ahead and do my eyebrows real quick with just the e.l.f. brow pencil. It has a little spoogly on the end. And I usually just don't like to define them too much, but I just kind of fill them in a little bit since my hair is already a little bit dark. Okay, and then I just kind of go through them with a spoolie real quick. So the next thing, it is contour or bronzer. So I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Contouring Palette. And this is also a Wet n Wild contour brush. So I like to dip them in a little bit of both and then tap it off, and then I'm just going to kind of bring it right under the cheekbones. And then kind of tap it in up here as well, just to kind of warm up the face a little bit. Tap off. Warm up the face a little bit. Make sure you blend it really well. Gonna kind of bring that up here a little bit more. Okay, so we have a little bit of contour going on. Okay, the next thing I'm using is not really a blush. It's called the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Illuminating Palette, but I tend to use just these middle two shades as a blush instead of using this whole thing as a highlighter. So I'm also going to be using the Wet n Wild blush brush. So just kind of get up in the middle there, tap it off. And I don't really like a really heavy chunky blush. I just kind of like to be able to tell that it's there a little bit, but I don't like it to be just like a lot of blush. I'm going to go back with that little powder brush I used and just kind of make sure that's all blended. So next I will be using highlighter from Wet n Wild, and this is actually, it was a limited edition. It came in the little pack that I bought. It's called the Wet n Wild Mega Glow Highlighting Gold Bar. It has this little star in it. It's kind of cute. And this one I actually thought, I mean, it's not really the best product. I haven't really used it, but I kind of looked at it the other day. It has this little thing on the side you can pull out, and it's a little, oh, well, there's a little mirror in here if you pull it out, but it just completely fell out, so. But the highlighter still might be okay, so I guess we'll try it. Okay, so I'm gonna grab my little brush here. This is an Ipsy brush. It's a tapered highlighting brush. I'm just gonna kind of dip this in here. Pretty glow. Now I do like, put some on my nose here, I do like a pretty good glow. It makes it look kind of dewy and just really pretty. Put some on the nose, and then right there in the Cupid's bow. Okay, so next I'm going to be moving on to the eyes. Now we already kind of used the powder and the concealer as like a eye primer. So I actually bought 2 palettes. It came in a little pack for like 10 bucks. They're really, really cheap. But I bought this one and it's called Comfort Zone. And then I also bought this one and it's called Petal Pusher. But I just kind of thought, I have green eyes, so why not go more green? So, okay. So I'm just going to kind of follow the little things they tell you to do here. So I'm gonna, oh, I'm not gonna use this black color with glitter all in it. That's not really me. But I'm gonna use the little eyelid shade here. I'm just gonna kind of bring that into the crease with a Wet n Wild fluffy brush. I'm just using like windshield wiper movements. You can also do circular movements. It's pretty. And you want to hold your brush down at the end. That way you have a really soft hand when you're doing this, because you don't want it to be like overload. I think that's really pretty. It's just kind of a soft green. Now I'm gonna try to go into a little bit darker, this bottom shade, and just put this kind of like in that outer V part. I'm just gonna kind of tap it in a little bit, because I find for me, I'm not super great at doing dark colors, because I'm just not the best with blending them. I make really weird faces whenever I'm doing this, but I'm just packing that in. And then I'm going to go back into that blending brush and just kind of try to blend all of that out. Okay, so we got a little bit of defining out there. Like I said, I'm not the best with doing the outer corner. So now I'm gonna take another little Wet n Wild brush. I'm not sure which one this is. I think it came with the little thing I got, but I'm gonna use, this is the brow bone color for this, which to me, that's not really a brow bone color, but I like to use like highlight type things on my brow bone to really kind of define it. But this is what it said to do, so I'm also gonna just kind of take it on the eye. Just to kind of give us a little bit of a glow there. Okay, I'm just going to go back into this little brush and blend everything again. It actually looks really nice. You can't really see on camera very well, but it's like a very kind of just soft looking eye with the green. It actually looks pretty nice. I actually am going to use one color out of this Petal Pusher, and I'm just going to use that. I'm just going to use a little e.l.f. blending eye brush. If I can get it open. I'm going to use this little really light shade right here, and I'm going to use that like in my inner corner. I like to make that kind of brightens your eye a little bit. Kind of dust it up there a little as well. So the next thing I'm going to do is eyeliner. Now I'm just going to go ahead and warn you, I'm not the best at applying liquid eyeliners, but I bought this one. It's the H2O proof liquid eyeliner. Haven't tried it yet, so we will see how it goes. And it's kind of a weird little brush. It looks, I don't know if you can really see it. Looks like this. So probably gonna have a little bit of a hard time with this one, but we shall see. So for me, since I'm so terrible at doing this, I always kind of pull my eye like this to help make a straight line. It always gets on my eyelashes. Okay, well, we're getting somewhere. And I'm not even going to attempt a cat eye or a winged eye because I don't want to ruin it. So, because I will. I really have got to get better at doing those. I'm terrible. Do the same thing. I always find I'm better at doing this eye than I am at doing this eye. Oh, yeah, that wasn't great. Maybe we can fix it. It's such a weird brush. Ugh. Yeah, I don't like this. This brush is just too weird, I think. Yeah, that looks absolutely terrible. Okay, so this side is way thicker than this side. Looks okay from back here. Not so much from up here. Looks kind of chunky. Wonder if I can fix it a little bit. I think I made it worse. Oh, now we need to add some to the other side. Yeah, this is crap. I do not like this. Okay, so we're just gonna give up at that point. So the next thing, I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Mega Length Mascara. Never tried this one before either, so we shall see. And it looks like this, the brush. Now I'm usually more of like I like volume with my mascaras, but we'll try this. I'm gonna have to do this in the mirror because there's no way. That eyeliner is coming down onto the bottom of that. Okay, this mascara, it's a little bit clumpy. I don't know why I can't get it to just do what I want, but it's not the worst thing I've ever used in the world either. And see how this eyeliner is coming down into my waterline, which I don't really want. I have kind of sensitive eyes, so I try to steer clear of the waterline because of that, but okay. So that's pretty much done. The next thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Setting Spray. Now I have used this before. It's not the best setting spray in the world, but it's very affordable. Everything from Wet n Wild is very affordable, so that's kind of why I like the brand. I really like using high-end brands, but at the same time, I don't like paying for them. So if I can find things that are cheap that are still fairly good, I tend to use them. Okay, this kind of smells a little weird. So I'm going to be using a Wet n Wild lipstick, and it's called Don't Blink Pink / Rose Princess. Probably should have exfoliated my lips first or put some type of moisturizing thing on them, but we're just gonna go with it. I really like bright lipsticks, but I just don't find them very wearable a lot of the time. Okay. And that is the look. So thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe, and hopefully I'll get some more of these up here soon. So okay, well, thank you. Enjoy.